Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, June 27th. My name is Mervyn Henley, and welcome to THG News Today on THG Network. Of course, today's edition is powered by Carl & Sons Unique Bakery on St. Martin and Thesis on Nevis. If you have not already done so, you know I'm going to say it this morning, right? Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for that. This way you be kept abreast in all that's happening. And especially we recognize that there is a weather system somewhere out there, hopefully not too close to the islands, but the trajectory path of this, whatever it is, according to the weather experts, the first tropical cyclone concern for the hurricane season is becoming better developed, and it could be an issue for the region, the Caribbean region, around the middle of next week. So they're asking folks to be prepared. That's according to Dale Desting, the head of the Met Office there on Antigua and Barbuda. It is still far out. They don't know what's going to happen. But of course, it's THG Network where you can depend on for us to send you the accurate information. No sensationalism, just the accurate details of the storm. That's what we're here to provide for you. Today will be a different day. We're not going to have the news per se this morning. I came across a snippet, just over 6 minutes, of a rising star in Caribbean politics from the island of Anguilla, the Honorable Jose Vanterpool, who is the island-wide representative in the Anguilla House of Assembly, and he is from the Anguilla United Front Party. And he spoke in the House of Assembly, and it was so, how must I put this? It was so eloquently inspiring. It was so articulate. It was so refreshing. Man, I'm telling you, it is just something that I just do not want to hear it for me. And while he was speaking to the members of the House and the Speaker in the Anguilla House of Assembly and to the people of Anguilla, I believe his message is also for not just Anguilla, but for the entire Caribbean region. And so I do not want it to just be isolated to Anguilla, but for the world. In whatever way I can help to promote or bring forth the message, then I will do so. And so this morning, because I know this will resonate with you, and he was speaking about the initiatives, he had clear initiatives to fix the Anguilla civil service and the lack of upward mobility. He was speaking about early retirement and how unfair it is, for school leavers. Hundreds of school leavers can't get jobs. They don't want to be in the tourism industry. And we have people there in our civil service, 60 and 65. You know what? Let me not even tell you about it. You have to listen to it because I cannot do justice to this. So please listen to this inspiring young man. He's just 29, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe that he may very well be a future premier leader of Anguilla. So let's give a listen to Jose Vanterpool for the next 6.5 minutes or so.
I wouldn't go as far as saying we have any issue as it relates here, at least not myself personally, Madam Speaker. While I do rise in support of the amendment before us, one of the reasons I wanted to get to my feet is because while I view this as a step in the right direction, I want to put it on record that I would like to see us go further, Madam Speaker. And I'll go on a bit to explain what I would like to see as it relates to the development of pensions and the early retirement in Anguilla, Madam Speaker. Right now, if you've been employed after 2004, 5 years early retirement is at age 60. If it was prior to 2004, early retirement is age 55. I would like to see it where all pensionable officers, regardless of when they were employed, have the right to exercise for early retirement, Madam Speaker. As the Honourable Premier would have mentioned, there is a financial implication to persons retiring early. But we have to look at, if we change the entire model, how can we skew these penalties to be viewed more as benefits? Rather than framing this in a way to say when persons retire early, these are the penalties you're going to receive, we need to structure the system in such a way that we incentivize persons to be able to retire early, Madam Speaker. Implications of this are, we have hundreds of students who exit our high school and sixth form educational levels every year, Madam Speaker. We have a lot of young persons who are looking for employment opportunities outside of the tourism sector, Madam Speaker. By restricting public officers from being able to retire until they reach a certain age, be that 60 or 65, they are forced to hold on to positions within the civil service, reducing the upward mobility and the lack of development prospects for the younger persons who may wish to enter the public service, Madam Speaker. When we tell teachers, for example, that they have to stay in a classroom until they reach the age of retirement, that means if a teacher in high school and went straight into the educational system as a teacher, from 18 until 60 or 65, we're expecting them to stay up to date and to keep up with the students in the classroom, Madam Speaker. Why? Because they may be fearing impacting their pensions or their retirement benefits. If we would have looked at the years of service that that person would have put in, Madam Speaker, that would be near 4 decades of development within the civil service. While we are proud of all of our civil servants who worked so tirelessly and are committed to the development of the civil service, Madam Speaker, I think we also owe them a right to be able to explore their benefits after they may have felt that they had served their time, Madam Speaker. Let's say, for example, someone would have joined the civil service at 20, they would have spent 25 years old, they're now 45. After 5 years of service, do we really have to tell them, well, you have to stick around for another 20 because you have not reached the age of retirement? So, Madam Speaker, I think we need to shift away from the paradigm of thinking of specific ages of retirement to more so one where we can develop different packages based on your years of service and commitment. So whether it's you get certain benefits after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20, 25, Madam Speaker. Let's look at some of the benefits that we may be able to attract by offering persons opportunities to retire early. Right now, someone who has to retire at the age of 65, if we were to give them a package so that they have the option to retire early at 55, this person now has 10 years to shift and transition into the private sector. That's 10 years where they can take their knowledge and their expertise with all the experience that they would have gained within the public sector and take it and apply it within the private sector. Now, even if it's a small office, a small practice, this person may employ 2 or 3 younger persons to help them carry out the duties of their office. This has a direct impact on knowledge transition from generation to generation, all while alleviating the pressure within the civil service to allow upward mobility, to allow opportunities for younger persons who are now trained, maybe more experienced and more equipped when it comes to the new technologies, the new mannerisms and then standards of going about doing things, all while stimulating the economy, Madam Speaker. If we look at the current setup, just as an example, where we have customs primarily being done as a public function under a government department, but when we look at the level of brokerage that's being done by the private sector, Madam Speaker, this is an example of how I can see private companies partnering with the government by way of industry in order to facilitate a more efficient economic environment, Madam Speaker. So if we were to take that kind of approach and not only offer them their early retirement, Madam Speaker, but perhaps for persons in areas where they want to pursue their passions, dreams, goals, and develop unique areas given their expertise, Madam Speaker, that we create a program similar to what we do with youth and culture with the Get Set, where we help young persons be able to create their own businesses based on their ideas, where we help as a government, whether it's through grant funding, the offering of different incentives, and pretty much programs that also help them, if they're lacking the expertise enough, to be able to develop their own private practices, Madam Speaker, growing the public sector, growing the job market, and ultimately growing the opportunities that we have. So while I am in support of the bill we have before us, Madam Speaker, I would like to see us take a more progressive approach in terms of shifting to such a transition, one that gives not only more flexibilities to persons within the civil service as to how they want to contribute to their island, but one that also opens the doors to opportunities for our young persons and for experts and persons with expertise to come back and meaningfully contribute to the civil service, Madam Speaker. Let's move away from thinking that we have to either have a job with government or a job within the hotel sector to more of an approach to where we view our time within the civil service as a time of our national development, of our time of us going and contributing to our nation and building it up, knowing that that time is only for a period. after which we can then transition to the private sector and allow other persons to now take up that baton and continue contributing to our national development, Madam Speaker. For that to take place, we're going to have a full paradigm shift as to how we look at this whole retirement. But I hope with that being said, everyone has an idea of how I think we should start moving, and maybe we can have a further discussion as to how we can make that a reality, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Wow. You see what I told you? I'm sure you'll agree with me that this message needs to be all over the Caribbean. And I am going to send this to all my media colleagues throughout the Caribbean so that they can play it and they can share it in their respective countries. Because this is so Anguilla. I am not here to promote Jose the politician, but Anguilla, hold on to Jose. Hold on to Jose. To Mr. Vanterpool, the Honorable Vanterpool, because he has so much to offer his island. And while I do not know him personally, you can tell he has a heart and he wants to care and share and provide for the people of Anguilla and make a way for them. That's who we just listened to, the Honorable Vanterpool. So share it, share this video, please share this link, because people need to hear this. And this is what we need. When we look at what's happening around with other politicians and all of that, I mean, the corruption, the wasteful spending, the greed, you name it. This is what we need as representation. This is who we need. We need people like Jose Vanterpool in government. And I'm not making a political statement. I'm just saying what is reality. He is who we need in office, and he can be an example, not just for Anguillians, but for other Caribbean citizens. Because he inspires, he gives hope. And if you have given up on politics and you listen to what you just heard, he would make you believe again, make you believe in your island, make you believe that there is so much more, make you believe that you can fight for what you believe in. That's what he just did. He will give you that renewed spirit and love, compassion and care. Great work, Honorable Jose Vanterpool. Ladies and gentlemen, do join me again tomorrow morning, God's willing, at 6 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time for a similar presentation, when we'll present to you another edition of THG News Today right here on THG Network. My name is Mervyn Hanley. Have yourselves a blessed day.
Carl & Sons have been serving the people of St. Martin for over 40 years. And the food and service get better and better. From early morning, customers flock to the bakery for their favorite sandwiches, cakes, pastries, you name it. First thing at mornings and last thing at afternoons, folks rush to Carl & Sons for simply the best. There are two locations, Coal Bay and on the Pondville. In Coal Bay, the opening hours are Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Saturdays, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And on Sundays, 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Opening hours on the Pondville, Monday to Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. We also cater for weddings, parties, special events, whatever the occasion. It's Carl & Sons. Our staff, we are always happy to serve you. Call us today, the Coal Bay location, 721-544-2462. That's 721-544-2462. Or in Phillipsburg, 721-543-1059. That's 721-543-1059. It's Carl & Sons Bakery. We are here to serve you. Nevis, satisfy your sweet tooth at Feaser's, the cozy spot in Charlestown, known for its mouth-watering ice cream and dal parade. We are open Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come in and sample our patties, sandwiches, air-fried wings with fries, hot dogs, rotis, and now our famous smoothies, in all flavors of course. And don't forget to try the famous bus-up shut and saltfish. It's Feaser's, located at the entrance to the Cotton Ginnery Mall in Charlestown, Nevis. They're also available by phone, so place your order by calling 1-869-665-2458. Don't ask about the rest, just try the best.